4, which is nice because it was a real pain last week. Okay, in the middle of our screen, we're going to get going. It's already recording. I'm going to put this U at more of a diagonal right here. Okay, that U shape. And then I'm going to come out from it a ways and curl it up this way. I'm going to keep it kind of wide and then skinny as we get to the end. Remember, when we do this first part, don't draw it very darn dark, okay? Because if you draw it dark, it's hard to make it go away. So hopefully you can see that. Is there anybody that cannot see that I need to make it darker for? If I need to make it a little darker, I will. But I want you to keep yours light. And the problem is when I draw it dark, then your brain just goes, oh, I got to draw it dark. And please don't do that. Now you should be able to see that pretty easy, I think, most of you. And we'll put that little teardrop shape right around here, leaving space between the edge and our line that we're drawing. So I'm going to come around here lightly first so I know it's going to go where I want it to go. I'll swing it around and then I'll put a little tag end down at the bottom. So it's almost like a little balloon, kind of like the shape of a little balloon right there, just like that. Now the beginning part will be very similar to what we've done before. But this part, when we get going on the shading and the texture, will change just a little bit. Does anybody need more time to get this part done? Okay, I'll give you just a second. All right, let's put his arms on him. Come just about near the bottom of this and up slightly. And we're just going to go ahead and put that kind of a hill shape. It goes up and then whoops up at the end. Okay, and then what we do on that side, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Goes up and a little whoop at the end, just like that. Okay. Make sure they're fairly big though. We're not going to worry about other ghosts on this paper. We're just drawing one real nice big one on this one. Not this time. We're going to just do one big one. And then you'll have some time to practice. I'll put your the ones that you've drawn before in the different shapes. I'll set those out on the back table after we finish this demonstration. And you can get those so you can kind of see different positions. But you can also make up some of your own positions too. So this is just to try something a little different. Now, do you remember when I showed you to hold your pencil with your middle finger and your thumb? Okay, that's what we're going to do right now. That way I can push down with my pointer finger. And I'm going to start inside, and I'm just lift off, and I'm pushing off the side, and lifting off, and lifting off, and lifting off. See how that makes a different kind of line than when you just hold your pencil up? It goes fat to skinny. I'm just going to put a few on there right now. I'll put a few more on in a second. I'm turning my paper. I want these to follow the shape of my body. Okay, what I don't want to have happen is if my body's on here like this, that's the body, I don't want them going like this. Does that follow the shape? No, okay, it doesn't at all. Follow the flow that goes around. We're just putting a few on for now. We'll put more on in a minute, but for now we're just getting a few on just to get our directions right. And it's a new way of holding your pencil, so if it didn't go quite the way you planned, we're in the learning process here. Okay, on the arm this time, before we went down lower, we're going to go clear up here near the top, leave a little space between our line and where we're drawing, and we're going to do the same thing. We just curve it, just going to put a few on here right now just to get started. And a few that go, a couple right at the end that go a different direction. Okay? But the important thing is it's thick here and thin at the end. If you're just as thick at this end as you are at this end, it might cause some problems. We want to point on the end. That happens by pressing then lifting up right at the end and lightening the pressure. That gives us that look. Anybody struggling with that, or hopefully everybody's getting kind of? If you need help, just bring. Well, yeah, it would be you just go the opposite. Just go the opposite way. Well, left hand, it's this finger, and then your pointer finger. You push down and lift up. Push down and lift up. Okay. If I'm on this side, I'm going this way. It might be easier for you, Porter, if you go like this, because that's the way your hand wants to go. Does that make sense? And I appreciate you saying something. Most of my own children are left-handed, and I forget to address that sometimes. So for you guys now, those of you that are right-handed, when we get over here, you might need to turn it this way. Where Porter, he's probably going to have it pretty easy because that'll probably go pretty natural for him because now we're getting on the other side, or anybody else that's left-handed. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to press down, lift up, press down, lift up, press down, lift up. I'm going to put one over here at the tip of the bump right there, just so I remember to change directions a little bit after. So now I'm going to come in here, come here, come here, come there, just like that. Okay. So we're just kind of giving myself a direction. That's what you need to do, is just kind of give yourself a little bit of direction on it. Okay. All we're doing is establishing a directional line. Okay. Now hopefully you got something like that going on and not going just the opposite of. Let me find my papers. Should have an extra one. There, there's one. Okay, if we have this shape on here. Hopefully you're not coming on here and going like this. Okay? That's not really following a flow. That's just putting lines on because Mr. Evans said put lines on. See the difference between one and the other? One actually follows a flow. And then this would not be following it either. Okay? All right, before we go in here and we fill all this in and we do a lot more, let's just fill in the head space right here with that fairly dark, not black, but pretty darn dark. Just color it in. And do you remember what we do at the top half? Yeah, we just make this top half really dark, so that when we smear it with the Kleenex or the paper towel, it'll look like the top is a little darker and the bottom is a little lighter. It makes it kind of look like it goes back a little bit. Okay, we need to do a couple of things before we go all crazy with getting all this texture stuff on here. Is everybody to this point? Does anybody need a second? Okay, I'll wait just a second for you. Okay, remember to stay quiet while we're waiting because that all picks up on the video camera. All right, so now let's increase. Well, before we do that, we need to make this fold. We have this coming around here, so we're going to follow right around where the wing and the neck come together, kind of at the shoulder. And bring another little line right there. And then we're going to come around this side and bring one right into this tag end, so it comes around right there. And we might even put another one right there just for fun, okay? So you're just basically following this line. And this one follows this line. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So it shouldn't be anything too new, just kind of repeating what we've already done. Now, this is my second favorite part, is when I come in here and start to texture it here. So I'm going to just turn it so it's easier for my wrist to turn. So this way, if you're right-handed, and if you're left-handed, it'll be curved more this way on your paper, okay? You'll have to turn it just a little more. So this is the way my hand wants to go, because I'm just pivoting at my wrist. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start a little bit lower than those ones, and I'm going to bring some that come out just a little bit longer in between, kind of vary the length. I don't want them all the same. I just need to break that up so it's not a straight line. See how these are all kind of the same length? I'm trying to make some longer, some shorter. We're going to do both sides, but we're just doing this one so far. And then after you finish the arm, come in here on the body and do the same thing. I'm going to put some that are just a little bit shorter this time. Kind of come in between. Because most of mine are pretty long on the body. I just need some that are a little bit shorter. I'm going to bring one right off that tail end there too. Maybe a couple off of there. Now, some of you are like getting it figured out a little bit. You're like, okay, if we did that, then we got to do the same thing on the other side, and you are correct. So we're going to come over here and put some longer ones over here, using the side of my pencil again. And if you see my finger, it's pressing down. It's this forefinger pressing down. I even put a couple in there. We need to do this side of the body, but I'll wait just a second while you guys get caught up, and then we'll go ahead and do this side of the body, because this will be a little bit different than doing this side. This side's okay if they stick out a little ways. This side we're going to stay closer to the body. Okay, let's come down this side of the body. This curves this way. This one's going to curve kind of similar. And so I'm starting in the body, but I'm not coming very far out of it. And when I get down here to the bottom, I'm going to make the bottom end here, or the tail end here, I'm going to put quite a few more lines right here at this tail end. Thicken it up just a little bit so it gets a little bit darker down there. Okay? I think this one's going to look a lot better. I know it's going to look a lot better, actually. Now on mine, I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, I got a lot of space between my lines on this side. Not so much on this side, but a lot on this side. So I'm just going to come in and see how I did that down there by just putting a bunch of lines. I'm just using the side of my pencil. And I'm going to put a few more lines in here just so there's not so much space. Doesn't really matter how long they are. I'm just trying to fill up some of that empty space. Okay. Kind of random. It's just adding more lines. Come over here, just a few on this side, because this side's pretty good. Maybe a few right out on the end of that, where the hand technically would be. Do the same thing on this side. I think this is going to look a lot better. On the front of the body here, I'm going to just bring it into the body just a little bit more on the bottom edge, this edge here. Not on this side, just this side, bringing it up just a little bit more into the body so that when I smear it, I have more of a shadow on this side, okay? Where this fold is right here, I'm just going to make this just a little wider, just with the side of my pencil. I'm just coloring with the side of my pencil. And I'm going to make it a little wider right there with the side of my pencil. And then on the top of this line, a little wider right there. Just thickening that line just a little bit using the side of my pencil. That's all I'm doing, okay? All right, let's do the fun part now. Does anybody need more time just before we go and start the fun part? Okay, remember, take your Kleenex or your paper towel, fold it a couple of times so you don't work your way all the way through it. And then all you got to do, I'm getting a corner on it, just like we did before. And then I can wrap it around my finger. And that way there's a point on this side, and I can just press down. And then I'm just going to come down here and pull away. When I smear it, I'm going in the same direction as the lines that I put on there. I'll come in, I'm going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Come down here to the end, pulling away, go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth up here. Trying to fill it up all the way to the top and coming out the end. When I say all the way top, I mean up here. So I got that kind of muted down, kind of looks a little ghost-like now. Then I'll go along that little edge that I put right here, and right here, and right here. Fill that in just a little bit. Rub over that. Do the inside of the face. Kind of go around the top, smear it around. It's going to be kind of dark right now there, but remember, we're going to draw with our eraser here in a minute. Now, if yours turned out a lot darker than this, because you were pressing a lot harder than I was, you don't need to put any more pencil graphite on your drawing. Mine is a little lighter than I want it to be. So I'm going to come in here and just darken this a little bit here and there with my pencil, because it's just a little too light for me. So I'm just darkening it a little bit, just here and there, some random spots. If yours is already good and dark, don't do this, okay? I'm just doing this so I get a little more graphite on my paper. Pretty good down through here. I don't have to do too much. And then just a little bit in here. Come around here. I'm going to put a few right here where the arm's close to the body. Then I'll just go over that one more time. Just to soften that a little bit so it's not so dark. But it's just, I'm just barely going to go over a little bit. Not rubbing too hard on this because I kind of want to maintain a lot of that. Like I say, yours are going to vary. Everybody's going to be just a little bit different. But if we don't have quite a bit of graphite on there, when we do this, then it won't do any good to put the eraser marks on it. Now hopefully yours is fairly dark. Right here in the middle, I'm going to rub that just a little bit because I want to make sure there's no white basically on the inside of my ghost anywhere. Okay. I need to be able to draw with my eraser, and if it's already white, it's not going to draw anything. So let me show you before we start doing the drawing with the eraser. On this one, the flow is really good. It follows, it's following the direction, following the direction, following the direction. Here's where we run into some problems. If you come on here and you go, okay, all my lines are this way, and I saw some of you do this, and I don't know why you did it, so I need everyone looking at the board, because I hope we don't have this happen again. These are your guidelines. This tells you already which way you're going to go. So don't come on here with your eraser and go like this. Okay? That is the opposite of going with the flow. Okay? You shouldn't have anywhere that it crisscrosses anywhere on the body. You shouldn't have like line going this way and then line going this way and that way and that way. You shouldn't come out here and just go like this and then a random line. Don't just put random lines on there with your eraser. Follow the flow just like it does here. This follows, 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 follows the flow. You already know where the flow is on this because you can see your lines. You just follow those. So when I do this, I'm just following exactly like I did when I drew with my pencil. Now I'm just doing it with the eraser. Don't suddenly go all brain damaged and spastic and go just opposite of what you were doing. You've already given yourself a guideline, use it. And I'm just lifting up at the end so I get a nice little point. Look at that, that turned out beautiful going down that side of the body. And it just follows the same flow as the lines I already put on it. I've yet to figure out what the train of thought was on this thing. And I saw that on probably half a dozen or more. So I just need you to kind of pay attention to what you're doing. Be aware of what you're trying to draw. Now maybe you were tired and it was a Thursday and maybe you're just anxious to get the day over. I don't know. But today, let's try to focus a little more control with our eraser. So we've done the bottom side of that body. Now we can come around the tail. I'm going to turn this just so it's easier so I can continue to follow my lines. And I'll go up this side of the body. Back and forth, following the lines of my original pencil lines. Not going anything counter to it or the opposite of it. Okay, it sweeps nicely this way and then sweeps nicely that way. I don't come in here and go like this. I don't want my lines coming in here to a point together, okay? I'm really, really hoping this time that a lot of your ghosts will look a little better. All right, you know what you got to do with the wings now because it's the same thing that we did with the body. We're just going to follow. I can see my lines already. There's the lines. I'll just follow them. Follow, follow, and then when it changes direction, I change the direction of my eraser lines. Just like that. So if I have guidelines, I follow the guidelines. Don't go the opposite direction of your guidelines. Come over here, again, just follow in the same direction my guidelines go. Get all my eraser shavings off. We should, in theory, have a pretty good ghost. Yeah, you're going, so here's your lines. You just follow the exact direction that you put your first lines on there. Okay, just like that.
Okay. Do I need it maybe like yours?
I go a little dark, you're a little bit light. Yep,
Okay.
you're a little bit light. Okay, now up around the head, I'll zoom that in so we get down over here where the head is right here. The part closest to the opening, we're going to go right here and put that little highlight right there closest to the opening. So it goes dark and then a highlight. And then we'll come down below this wrinkle and we'll put a little highlight right here below that line. So right along this edge and then right below this line that we drew earlier right here. So the highlight goes below it. That looks pretty good. Just add a few more. Just come back and forth. Just put a few more in there. See the difference it makes on the texture?
Yeah.
Just a few more something. Okay. Then on this side, I'm going to go right at the edge, right where the black or the dark part of the opening goes, and make another little highlight right there. So it separates the wrinkle from the opening. And then I'm going to come below this line here. Come below this line here and put a little highlight right there. Now we got those little folds on there. Then I'm going to show you something that's kind of cool. Once we got everybody to this point. I don't know where that line, I must have dropped my pencil right there. We'll get rid of that line. Not sure what happened right there. Guys, help me keep an eye on that clock too, because I think in about 5 minutes they're going to have you go down to the auditorium, but we've got just enough time to finish this. They'll tell you there. I don't know. Okay, here's the next thing we're going to do, and this is a little weird. Even if you're not finished with this, just follow me on what I'm going to show you next, because it's a cool thing to learn. We're going to make like a cloudy, scary sky up here. All my lines are going to go kind of side to side, okay, horizontal. I'm using the side of my pencil again, but I'm just going to make a weird little abstract shape, like I'm just kind of going around, making my own little trail going across my paper like this, okay? Just using the side and letting it be a point at this end, maybe a point coming out here. Just kind of creating a little trail across my page, okay? Like a snake almost. But all my lines are going back and forth, okay? And I'm trying to keep them close together so there's not a lot of space between them. Okay, if you're going this way with it or you're holding your pencil up and pressing really hard, it's not going to work very well. Okay, and I might go just slightly darker, keeping my lines close together. You're going to like this effect. If you do what I'm showing you, it's going to look pretty cool. Then I'm going to start right here at this wing right here. I'm going to go right up next to the edge of the wing. I've got to be really careful. I don't want to go inside the wing. If I do, I can just always erase it. And I'm going to do another one, and it just gets skinny as it goes out. I just let it trail off right there. Okay? We're going to go a little bit faster because we're trying to beat the clock. I'm going to come from this far edge now, and I'm going to bring a much bigger one that kind of comes in here around here and comes underneath that, and then makes kind of a little shot through between this cloud and this cloud. Keeping my stuff all horizontal, horizontal, horizontal. Don't go this way, don't go diagonal. Don't go up and down, horizontal, which means straight back and forth. Then I'm going to do a similar shape to this from this corner. I'm going to bring it down close to that cloud and then bring it right up to the top of my page right here and just let this come out to a point. Now, some of you might be able to visualize already kind of what we got going on here. The dark part that we're putting on is the sky. The white part is actually the cloud. I'm going to do just a little bit right here too, just so I don't have a big white stripe going all the way across the top of my paper. Just a little bit to fill in that corner. And then I'm going to come up underneath here. Corver, if I ever hear that gum again, I am going to stick it in your ear. Do not pop your gum in class. In fact, spit it out, because this is the second time I've had to tell you. All right, so we're going to come over here from this side. Go up. Just go down a little bit. Again, keeping my lines going back and forth horizontally. And maybe just a little one that shoots out here. Then we're going to make this look awesome. And this is how we make it look awesome, and this is why it's so important that we had the lines going side to side, because when we go to rub on this with our Kleenex or our paper towel, instead of going side to side, we're going to go in a little circular motion. And watch what happens here. This is a cool effect. I'm going to go in a little circular motion like this, right out to the end. And I'll follow this one. I don't want to get too far out of where I put my black or my darker color down. I'm going just around. And if you look, it's starting to form clouds and sky. Like a dark, cloudy, like a Halloween night. See how cloudy that looks? That looks a lot like real clouds. Okay? And that's why it's so fun, because it looks really realistic, but it's really easy to do. The biggest trick with it is making sure you leave enough white space in between. If you don't, then you just get a big gray paper that's all covered with just a few little splotches of white, and it doesn't really look like a cloud. But the key is to go around and around and around, because it makes a nice soft edge on everything. Look at that. We got kind of a spooky looking drawing going on there, and it didn't break any brain cells. Okay. If you've got any place where it's kind of the line showing through like I have right here, all you got to do is just rub a little bit harder. Try to soften it up. But for the most part, they should disappear. Okay, so we've got nice clouds going on here. Okay, if you have yours to that point of completion, make sure your first and last name's on the back. We'll practice some more tomorrow. But this is just for today. I think we'll hopefully have some better ones. I'll look through them tonight. Go ahead and set those on the back table. Leave the chairs down. And then I'm going to send you down to the auditorium, because they should be announcing it, but this is the time they said you needed to be there. So.
I kind of messed up on that one.
Yeah, but you did okay everywhere else. You just need to bring these on this side, just a little further into the body like that. Okay, just like that. And then other than that, that looks pretty good. Your clouds turned out pretty good. Just rub a little harder on them so that the lines go away. See, I'm pressing down really hard. And see how those lines get a lot harder to see? See how you can see them easy here? If I press a little harder.
I kind of colored a little bit hard on that
Yeah,
side too.
but they get harder to see if you press down.
Does that look good?
Oh, it's looking kind of spooky too. That's what we want. So, good job.
No. Dude, that's so racist. That's so racist, bro. Alright guys, come on down to the auditorium.
Can you go down?
Yep.